Yeah, here's David Attenborough, and we are here on a small island just outside the coast of Bretagne in France, and it's only 100 meters away from the coast, and all this around me will be flooded in a few hours. And we're going to search for one particular animal which is very important in this ecosystem. And on this floor of this ocean there's a lot of weed, but also a lot of sand. Particularly in the sandy parts, that's where our animal will be. Yeah, I'm back in the old days when I was studying biology. I was on a project in Holland and I studied this animal, so it's very close related to me. It's more like a friend. And if you search these sandy parts, you soon found a lot of traces of this animal. Let me show you some. Yes, and here we find some of these traces. Here's a very small one, and here's a bigger one. And in fact, it's the shit of the animal, and that's what I studied. Shitting behavior of the watpier, or Arnicula marina, if it's how it's called in Latin. So I cleaned out the shitty part and marked with a cross where it was, and then I came back every half hour to see if it shitted again. But first, let's search for the animal and do some digging. It's very deep. It can be up to like 20 or 30 centimeters. And here we have one of them. And there is the watpier. The part where my thumb is the head of the animal, and this part here is the tail. Yeah, you probably wonder now, why is it so important to know how many times a watpier shits a day? And that has something to do with the fact that it's a prey for a lot of birds and also fishes. Okay, here I made a drawing, and this here is the surface of the sand, and here inside the sand, in a huge tube, is where the animal lives. Here it is, and normally it's below there. When it's time to feed, it comes up and it feeds on the sand, which contains a lot of algae, small ones, and he eats that. But sometimes he has to shit, and then he goes all the way up here and makes a round shit with all the sand. And at that point he's vulnerable, because if birds see that, or fishes, they catch the watpier and then drag them out of the hole. And when I put it back on the sand, it will immediately start to dig a hole. Okay, now we've seen that the watpier is very important for this ecosystem, because it's food for a lot of birds and animals like platvissen, zoals tol en school, but also for birds like rossige and wulpen. They like to eat a lot of watpier. Thank you for watching. See you again next time on BBC.